segment in this morning's plenary. It is an interaction with our guest of honor. We're going to reflect on policy and regulatory issues pertaining to doing business in Ghana and the Ghanaian economy. Please make welcome the Honorable Minister for Business Development, AB, accompanied by our moderator for this session, a former Dean of the Gimpa Law School, lecturer in law, Lawyer Ken Kofi Abojina.
So we're going to have an easy conversation with our sector minister, who is going to speak to us about the policy and regulatory issues affecting SMEs in Ghana. So I'm going to start by asking you to just give us some introductory remarks concerning, first of all, the event and then the general issues involved.
Thank you so much. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and friends from the media. I'd love to thank organizers for making us part of this very important occasion. After listening to all the animated discussions earlier, I very limited comment. First, as a minister, and second, as a businessman myself. I was born down through the way, 32 years in business. It hasn't been easy. What has brought me very far is refusing to fall, even when I sleep. It's important to refuse to fall when you sleep. You cannot get an omelette without breaking eggs. It's not possible. Desire, perseverance, and ambition is what we all need to get very far. Desire, perseverance, and ambition. Just want to share my perspectives with young people here. Most people here are more than 40. I want to urge that we should all build generational businesses. It's very important for us to build generational businesses. Start thinking of who takes over from you. You don't have to get to 60 years before thinking about that. Start identifying who should be your inheritor or successor. And when you get that person or those persons, let them have shared values. We don't share the values with them. We have reasons why we set up a business. Let's inculcate those values in those who inherit the business. Another important person I want to share with you is that let us encourage them to pay taxes. 12 million people are working in this country. About 1.6 people are paying their taxes. It's not good for our economy. We can't depend on people coming from foreign countries to invest money. Let us cultivate the habit of paying taxes. And the last point I want to share with you before the further discussion is that we need to have intention programs for our people. Academia and industry always have a difference in terms of work quality. Minister of the Government would next year have 5,000 young men and women going to internships. So that they learn the rules, they learn job ethics before they finish university and SSS. That will prepare them for the job world, with the world of work. I'll come round to all government and private institutions to help build 5,000 per annum job placement as internships. And I want to encourage you to support me with that. This is my introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you for those introductory words. Now, you mentioned the question of paying taxes. Would you say that, given your government's policy, we have a conducive environment for business, especially new businesses? Do we have an incubator environment, one that can generate new businesses and sustain them? I mean, a company comes from day one, they start paying taxes. There are no tax breaks, there are no grace periods. Would you say we have a conducive environment?
Thank you. At the start of the Ministry of Development is in itself an indicator that we want to support small businesses, startups. If you listen to Finance Minister a couple of days, maybe about 2 weeks ago, there were a lot of reliefs. Corporate tax has been reduced. Reduced from 10 to 20%. Even personal income tax is the threshold of 10,000 and above. Now it's gone to 20,000 and above. The most important element in government is to set the policy framework for businesses. And that framework has been established. Let's go back to memory lane a bit. Macroeconomic environment stability is very important for the business. This year, we are growing at about 6.5% by the close of the year. Ease of doing business in Ghana has improved from 120 points to about 140. It's very important for us. Inflation has improved drastically from last about 15% in 2016, to about 9% We have set out a good framework to make sure that businesses work. It's important to know that without a stable macroeconomic environment, business will not work. Let's not forget about Winsor. Today, don't look as if it's normal. Just 2 years ago, companies spent $240 million a month to service generators and utilities bill. Today, we only stabilize energy. We make sure that energy rates are reduced. Industries have 10% reduction, and then domestic consumers have 8% reduction. So yes, we are some of the macroeconomic framework.
Sorry, let me ask you. I think the things you say now are fantastic, they're good to hear. But the question remains, for example, that there's a huge difficulty in accessing credit markets. So companies are established today, and they have to compete with, multinationals, for example, who have access to credit at close to 0% from other markets. And in Ghana, they borrow at, we all know the rates, at growth. What, for example, would your ministry do to deal with some of the structural difficulties and systemic difficulties like access to credit?
Thank you. Someone mentioned in the group that bad loans are a problem in this country. We all know that. Interest rates were about 47% 2-3 years ago. It's still high, but today they're around 27%. It's not the best, but there's a reduction within 2 years from 45% to around 27%. It's very important for us. Government, my ministry next year will be given $100 million to support startups and small businesses. This year, the minister has supported 110,350 startups with loans ranging between 10,000 and 100,000. So these are the steps that we are making to improve the environment.
At good interest rates?
10% interest rates.
10%?
10%. 10% interest rates.
What outcome will I do?
You answer. 10% interest rate. We want to do about $100 million next year to support businesses to grow. That's our intention.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you something about regulatory, since this conversation is about policy and regulatory. Look at regulatory. The recent incidents of bank collapses, some of which are SMEs. I don't want to mention names, but we know the topical one in recent times. The regulatory space. Would you say that we have an adequate regulatory environment and one which doesn't pose necessarily obstacles to the operations of businesses?
The regulatory framework is work in progress. The collapse of the banks, if government hadn't taken those steps, nearly 1.8 million people still have lost their money. We have to take decisive steps to save those banks. At the end of the day, we want to build very strong, robust insurance banks that can transact business. Most of the banks could not even pull $1 million, $2 million. And that's not good for a country that wants to grow. The problem we have in this country is that we don't have banks that can do big. They have to pull resources together. By the end of this year and then next year, you will have more than 10, 15 banks that are very strong, that are robust, and that are competitive. As government, you have to take decisions at the right time. And that's all we do. If you look at everything that the government has done, is to make sure the macroeconomic space is very stable. If it's not predictable, nobody will do business with you. You cannot go Ghana beyond aid if you have challenges in the macroeconomic space. Today, we are fast in the economy. It's very important for the economy. Nobody's going to tell you that my office and kiosk, this or what is seller. Digital address system, we're doing it. It's very important for us. If you go to research house today, you don't need more than 3 days to register your business. It's very important for us. You don't need 1 month to register your business. It is registration. We are doing bank interoperability. It's very important for us. So all this requires the economy to make sure that businesses are important and they are good. Without a stable macroeconomic environment, we've done 2 years, almost 2 years in government. We are going to move from stability to growth next year. Yes, we want to embark on massive infrastructure development next year. We need the roadway, we need the roads, the schools, the government infrastructure. And we are going to do a lot in terms of education. Every government has a decision to make. We have tried to invest in the human capital. That's why last and this year, 270,000 more young people have access to secondary education. Without the best education, you cannot grow an economy.
Sometimes there's a danger that when you sleep too much and you wake up, you may tend to become overly aggressive. And I'm speaking of Ghana. It appears to have slept a long time. economy is certainly waking up. But in waking up, is it not becoming overly aggressive? Some of these restrictions and regulations they are bringing into the banking system, the system environment. Are we not in danger of moving from too many banks, too few a number of banks, with the possibility of the cartels? The banks becoming cartels. First of all, they are lending at crazy rates and they are refusing to come down. And now they're going to very few of them. How do we to deal with that aspect, the danger of that, especially to SMEs that may still want to access credit in great places?
No, I don't think really too fast. I believe by the government of Ghana said there are about 15 or so banks that are ready to meet the requirements of 400 million cedis. We're not listening too much. And don't forget, that's the universal banks. The tier 2 bank savings and loans, they are doing very well, microfinance institutions. So it's not just about 15. Nigeria has about 15 solid banks, 160 million people. They're not moving from 39 banks or 30 banks to about 15 to 20 banks. It was important that we must build strong, competitive banks that can transact business. That's what's important. We are not going too fast. I think that what we are doing is in line with our goal to make Ghana more competitive.
Okay, so I'm going to veer off a bit and ask you questions about consumer protection, for example. Recently, I read somewhere online, I'm not sure how true is that the telcos have been fined. Nigeria is an early pace setter in this regard. To what extent do you think Ghana needs a consumer protection law? Because it appears that, as consumers, here at SMEs, either we are providing a service or we're consumers. To what extent do you think that the Ghanaian consumer is in need of protection as the Minister of Business Development?
The essence of policy of government is to protect the people. That's a very, very fundamental essence of it. What our government does should be towards improving the lives of people and protecting them from hazards. Whether there's a law or not, we must all be each other's keeper. It's very important. But when it is too difficult for us, government to come in. So Ghana needs a protection law. But for the law to work, we must be very active and participate. Make sure that whatever we do protects our interests and national interests. So the law is important. Beyond the law, what are we doing? It takes two. Government will put the regulatory framework in place. Citizens must be very attentive, very alive to report breaches of the law. It's very important for us.
So in a similar way, would you also support the fact that we need a competition law, for example? Ghana doesn't have a competition law. And so businesses tend to undercut each other. Some go below the belt just basically to get others out of the environment of competition. Do we need a law to regulate? I'm sure the answer will be yes, but what do you say about the necessity of a competition law in an environment like ours?
Our president, Senator Akufo-Addo, wants to make a business-friendly nation in Africa. That's all the policy initiatives have been in place. We need every law that can make the Ghanaian better. We need every law that can make Ghana more competitive. But again, I said, laws are statutes that are just in the books. We need very vibrant civil society, very vibrant businessmen and women who can challenge the status quo. So law is good, but I want us all to make sure we act response in making Ghana the best place to do business. That's the most important thing.
Thank you, Otis. My next question is going to be in the area of labor, skilled labor, among others. You mentioned actually in your introductory statements that there must be a certain symbiotic relationship between the academic environment and business and industry. Industry has perennially complained about the fact that the graduates that have been changed out from our universities are simply not ready for the job market. And the government has also paid lip service, I have to be honest about this, over the years to say, look, industry and academia must speak. But how do we do this in practical terms if we live here? With all these experts, with all these industry players and business and captains of industry here, how do we move beyond the realization of the necessity to the practical implementation of a real business-academia relationship?
I have two perspectives on this. One is what we're doing in terms of what the school entrepreneurship initiative in second cycle institutions. And come first quarter of next year, we're trying to save to universities. We need to let young people have grasp basics of business while they're in secondary school. By the time they get to university, they'll be prepared to know that entrepreneurship is not anything about them. It's our mindset, it's our execution. So one is to introduce what we call the school entrepreneurship initiative in schools. We're doing that already. This year, 10,000 young people have been affected. Within 5 years, 2 million people will be affected by entrepreneurship education in second cycle institutions and universities. The next perspective, as I said, is internships. And I want to urge CEOs, business owners, come January 2019, we want to introduce internships in this country. For 2019, we have 5,000 hours target. We want them, whilst they're on holidays, we want them to come to your businesses to learn. 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on your capacity. Please, when they come, we'll bring them, support them to acquire the basic skills. So our time they finish university as SMEs, they have academic sense and they also have the practical skills. It's very important. I just came from Germany and Hungary yesterday. We've secured some place to. They are going to do it both within Ghana and outside Ghana. 5,000 young men and women should be into entrepreneurship. Before they leave school, they have those basic skills so that Magdalene will not complain that they have the MBA, they don't have the practical skills. So I want to urge the industry to support our international drive. Job placement as done in London, as done in the US, as done in Dubai. That's how to get that country. We'll mix academia with industry. So by the time you finish your MBA or your psychology or your legal studies, you have a practical field of work. When you finish school and come, it's not going to take off for industry to employ you. That's what I'm telling you.
The next question I have for you is something in relation to a question that was asked by the gentleman about there. And this is a widespread opinion that the Ghanaian government or Ghana has to be too friendly to foreign businesses as opposed to local or domestic businesses. We give them all kinds of tax breaks, we give them all kinds of free zones area and we give them all kinds of preferences. What special treatment should a Ghanaian business expect to enjoy over and above foreign competition if we are to build intergenerational Ghanaian businesses?
Thank you. Very important question. We are reviewing the procurement law in this country. By next year, Ghanaian businesses are going to be considered much more than foreign business in the procurement process. Especially small businesses, 10% of it is going to them. By next year, we are also sending to Parliament startup law. 3 years as a startup, you will not pay taxes. All this money brings power back into your business. We'll plow back this money to our businesses. And then local content. We've done that in the banking sector. We've done that in the housing sector. There's going to be an improved local content law that will favor indigenous Ghanaian businesses in all aspects of our economy. So these are the 3 key initiatives and many more. The president has said it consistently. You cannot build a Ghana beyond aid by relying on little assistance from foreigners. It won't happen. Where a government that believes in big things, we can actually create results by still doing the same thing we do. We want to support just Ghanaian businesses. That does not exclude the foreign ones. It's a balancing game. We have to attract a lot of foreign businesses, but also make sure that the Ghanaian business is strengthened and supported to grow and can compete. So we do the two at the same time.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you a question about something that the Kosi's ministry or the Trade Representative Ministry. So the Minister of Trade is not there, unfortunately, but let's see the extent to which you can probably share some general policy perspectives on that. Ghana has signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Now that agreement, as you well know, is going to open our gates and borders to the influx of goods from within Africa. Nigeria has refused to sign. And organized labor in Nigeria has been strong in their influence against government, particularly because of the fear that, and with all respect, but that the fear that, foreign countries, including China, may find a way of infiltrating Africa with their goods by using other African stamps on it and creating an impression that they actually originated from Africa. To what extent can we assure the SMEs here, who may be competing in the Ghanaian environment or the Ghanaian space, that our markets are not going to be flooded by foreign goods, which are basically going to crowd them out, given the fact that the competition out there is stiff? Again, as I said, I understand this is not exactly a remit, but let me see the extent to which my share perspectives.
Thank you. I think that was one of the first countries to sign on to this. That gives Africa 1.2 billion people. That's a big market. And that gives Africa $2.3 trillion African economy. Ghana is only 30 million people. Whilst we want to protect and preserve our interests, which Ghana has a better deal in signing on to this continental free trade. We are coming up with policy measures. If you read our budget very well, there are a lot of incentives. 2019 for us is a very big year. We are going to give a lot of incentives and support to Ghanaian, indigenous Ghanaian businesses. MDSSI talked about business advisory services. There's a lot of money to offer to support Ghanaian businesses to compete. Please support us. It's good to compete, but we're not losing the fact that there could be foreign competition. Even Nigeria is signing on. But they'll sign on to the president has said it's going to sign on in January. So for us, that's our infrastructure. Look at our efforts. One of the best. We are building railroads, railway lines to Burkina, to Niger, to Togo, and to Nigeria. We need all this to position Ghana as a hub for business. That's how we are cleaning the banking sector. Ghana should be the financial hub of Africa. We are very stable with very good leadership. In all that we do, the Ghanaian business comes first. It's not just by words, also by action. So we have got a bigger picture of Africa. While we think Africa, we want to act Ghanaian. So the Ghanaian business will support it. There will be some competition, but we succeed. Thank you, sir.
One of the major problems we have in Ghana, and I think everyone here can testify to that, is the perennial forex difficulty. When you have foreign exchange fluctuations, when our cedi is unstable, many of these businesses rely on all kinds of inputs that need to be bought by foreign exchange. They suffer. What strategic advice would you give in terms of your potential policy input as a ministry to ensure that small and medium scale enterprises do not collapse, do not go down under whatever Ghana goes through the turbulent times we not too long ago went through and go through over the years as far as that is concerned?
Thank you. The weekend of the Ghanaian cedi, the whole of this year has been 7%. Last year was 4.7%. Cedi to a dollar. Because of the US economy, now everybody looking at the US economy is strengthened, the dollar is strengthened. This is one of the best times that we do to maintain the cedi. Between 2013 and 2016, I'm sure you know that the cedi appreciated by close to 40%. This year, just about 7%. Again, the most important thing is fiscal discipline. That is what we are doing, fiscal discipline. The fiscal deficit in Ghana was 9.7% by the end of 2016. Today, it's 5.8%. Very important for us. Though we are saying IMF, we are not going to lose sight of the fact that we have to discipline in terms of our expenditure. No. Fiscal discipline is very important for us. It's 5.8% as of now, from 9.3% just 2 years ago. We are going to follow the course of fiscal discipline, make sure that we do and deliver what we can afford. That's very important. So the whole thing is fiscal discipline. We're not going to veer from the what IMF is out of our neck. No. We're going to ensure that we are fiscal discipline whilst progressing in terms of business will not go overboard. It's very important for us as a government. So it's not macroeconomic environment and being fiscal discipline is our work.
Many businesses suffer a lot with the systemic rigidities that we have. You apply for a small permit, it takes forever. You apply for a license, it takes forever. And then we all know the others. You have to pay here, see someone there, go through all kinds of clientele difficulties. To what extent would you say that your ministry is positioned to remove some of these structural systemic barriers and then take out, of course, we can't have corruption, but substantially reduce corruption so that the transaction cost of doing business in Ghana is minimized, particularly at the small and medium scale businesses?
This is sectoral. The president is very clear on it. Systemic barriers, that is why we started. The Minister of Trade and Industry has led the way to improve the World Bank of doing business. Access to permits, construction, and then even foreign participation is being led. Today, if you go to the Research General Department, it takes less than 3 days to reach self-company. Irrigation. Office of General Prosecutor has allocated 180 million cedis to fight corruption. You see action very soon. That's the first step. That Attorney General's Department has been strengthened fight corruption. So it is an ongoing business that we want to do. And then if you look at the cost of borrowing, like I said, from 47% in 2 years to 27%, it's a marked improvement. We are not there yet, but I think that is something that we've done very well. We continue to do that. Our focus as government, as a ministry, is to support startups and small businesses. As we said, they are about 92% of this economy, and they account for 7% of the GDP. We will constantly improve on their skills, give access to very cheap financing, and give them access to markets. What I keep on they have is access to markets. And working on all this to make sure that the SME sector is very competitive, very friendly. That's all.
I think my last question, you've been, my personal opinion is that you've been quite successful at bringing, if you like, mainstream business as far as the machinery is concerned. I think because the ministry is probably well in the scheme of things. But let me ask you, Rwanda is number 2 on the ease of doing business now. Now, this is a country that was known for genocide. When you mention Rwanda in the 80s, genocide came to mind. Today, Rwanda is number 2. We're still doing, we are there, we're in between somewhere. We go up and down. To what extent, or you rather ask, what are your plans, policies, programs, intended plans and policies to bring Ghana at least into the first 5 brackets? We should be aspiring for first, but we can get there, but into the first 5 brackets.
Excellent question. It's all about leadership. What we intend to do, I was starting to disagree. The private sector for us is the most important element in our economic transformation. We are going to institute a regular quarterly dialogue with the private sector CEOs. Our first meeting will be in February. We want to listen to you. For us, as a government, we are center right. We create the policy space and allow you to drive the economy. So one good thing is that we want to listen. We've not stabilized the economy. We are stabilized. We want to grow. Our agenda from 2019 and beyond is one of accelerated growth. So we want to dialogue with the private sector. Very important for us. We're going to have a quarterly meeting with the CEOs and the private sector to tell us, this is where we are going. What do you think? We share perspectives and learn from you and move on. So what we want to do is that we'll continue to dialogue to find out areas that we think can improve upon the economy. Make sure that we grow. What the private sector grows, why not? Last year, we had 8.7% of GDP. This year, 6.9%, the best in Africa. And next year, we'll take much more. So for us, it's all about leadership. We have a president who listens, and we all follow suit to make sure that we listen to the private sector and do what we can to make sure that Ghana grows and grows faster. Rwanda, 20 years ago, like we said, why not? Give us another 2-3 years. Ghana will be among the first 5 in terms of doing business. We'll do it.
I have time for 2 questions. No comments. 2 questions. If there are 2 questions, I'm going to take it. If there are 2 questions, I'm going to take it. Otherwise, the minister will have his space. 2 questions. No questions. Yes, there are 2 questions. I see Dr. Justice Jansen. Any other question? And then we're done. 2 questions, I've said 1.
You made reference to the government voting some funds for a lot of startups, about millions of dollars. But what I was wondering is, obviously it's more risky to invest in a startup than already existing smaller businesses. What I'm trying to ask is, what is government's plan for already existing smaller businesses who need funds? And perhaps they don't have the collateral to take bank loans at 23, 24, 25%. Is there any provision of government for that?
Yes, what I meant to say is startups as well as small businesses. Well, they consume 92% of the economy, business in this country. So it's meant for small business and startups. But you see, we need to take risks. Everywhere in the world, you don't take risks, then you don't make it. We've been doing the same model for how many years now? We're not changing status. So for risk, it's important for us to take risks. We cannot build an economy without taking risks. It's very important. So the money I mentioned is both for small business and for startups. But as we expand the economy, the banks will be very strengthened enough to support. What we are doing is just very temporary. The banks are given a space to grow and support the businesses. Ultimately, it's not the government, the banks should do it. If interest rates are down to 10, 12%, I'm sure they'll be able to get the banks will be able to loan. And please, when you get the loans, pay back.
Pay back. Yes, just Johnson.
Good policies, good ideas, but you must probably be in power for the next years you are hoping to be able to get some of this to happen. Because sometimes once they change the government, all the good policies as you see them may not continue. What do you have to say about that?
What I want the minister to address for me is what I have done. State-sponsored bottlenecks through the development and growth of SMEs. It's a whole day stuff. He's trying to address that. But what I want to find out is that how are we going to sustain our approach towards resolving some of these things? For example, the issue of high costs of credit, government itself crowding out SMEs, government not supporting and protecting local businesses, government ensuring either directly or indirectly that one, we have what I have termed politicization of business and the business environment. How are we going to deal with some of these things, including bureaucracy and what have you, over a relatively longer period, not short term? Because if we go at a short term approach, I don't think it will work. And then my last bit to the honorable minister, yes, you mentioned 10% as the potential rate you are going to get for the support you want to offer us. For me, I will plead with you that SMEs deserve lower rates, something below the 10. So I think we should really look at that if you really want that to do.
Progressively want to go down to 2%. Progressively want to go down to 2%. And after change of government, there will always be change of government. But we, under the Nakufo will pursue implement policies that will make us stay in power for a very long time, so that we can pursue the policies that we have. Ghanaians are not curious of good things. Once we deliver and make the economy better, they'll vote for you. It is our belief that we will stay very long in government to pursue and implement policies that will make sure that everybody knows. So I'll just give us some 4 or 5 terms. Show us about the economy.
Well, the minister has made 2 huge promises in the presence of all you witnesses. 2 huge promises. So I'm going to recap them so that the minister remembers that he's asking me that. Promise number 1. And so if the media is capturing this, they should not capture anything else apart from these 2. The first one is that the government is going to give tax breaks for 3 years for all startups. Now, 3 years. Tax breaks for 3 years for all startups. That's a major break, in my opinion. And that's going to be the first time, I think, if I remember, in this country. The second one is that apparently there's a loan for SMEs. That is being given at 10%. Again, it's finished. It's finished. Well, they said this year is already gone. But already we're in December, so it's not affording that. But next year, the other one will come. And since the target is to get to 2%, the hope is that maybe next year will be 8 or 6, so that gradually will get down. We have a lower tax rate given to SMEs, plus 3 years of tax break for all startups. I think these are significant interventions, and we all should hold government to it. I think the minister has responded well to our questions. I wish to thank the minister very dearly for his response. Please thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy and the Honorable Minister for Business and Economy, respectfully I ask that you please take your place back at the center as I invite to join you up here, the CEO and the convener of this summit, Mr. Ernest Ibrahim, ably assisted by Dr. Makoli, Mr. Fakri, Mr. Kalmoni. Round of applause as they come up.
In recognition of your immense support and enthusiasm for the Ghanaian ecosystem and for influencing significant Secondly, policies and programs to expand the frontiers of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. The second Ghana SME and Young CEOs Summits and Expo is pleased to present to you on this day, 26th day of November 2018, a token of our appreciation. And we'll call on Mr. Fakri to present to the minister. We just want to say thank you. In 2 years, you are doing well and want to encourage you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for this great show of appreciation for the Minister of Business Development, the Honorable Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim Awal. How about another resounding round of applause? As Honorable Minister, I would like you to now take the mic, express your appreciation, and then declare the summit officially open. Over to you.
Let me thank the organizers. I'm humbled for this. I want to dedicate all entrepreneurs in Ghana that please continue to work hard, make Ghana proud, create the jobs, and improve lives. I have a similar honor and privilege to declare this summit duly open.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the second edition of the Ghana SMEs and Young CEO Summit, officially now open. CEO, some smiles and 3 happy cheers. Hip hip, hip hip, and hip hip. All right, thank you very much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time where our guest of honor, together with the host for this summit, and our partner Deloitte, to proceed to cut the tape. And so we proceed.
In the name of God and the Bishop of this merciful, we are humbly honored to declare this summit, CEO and SME CEO Summit, duly.
Hip hip hip, hip hip hip, hip hip hip. Honorable Minister, we invite you